Today I'm going to show you how to make thin, crispy sweet potato chips. So begin with a sweet potato. I'm just going to do one and make sure to wash and dry that sweet potato. Start by peeling the sweet potato. You can leave the peel on. All right, now with these, I'm going to take the ends and cut those off. And now I have a bowl with ice cold water in it, and I'm using my filtered water because my tap water is gross. And now I have called a mandolin slicer, or a mandolin, and I have it set to 2, which is the right thickness for nice, perfectly thin, crispy potato chips. And now we are going to slice these to make our chip shapes, or thin little slices. If you don't have a mandolin, I'll put a link down below in the description where you can find this particular one. But it's not necessary. You can use a knife as well, but it is easier to get perfectly uniform chips using a mandolin. And we're just going to slice these right into that bowl. And then when you get pretty close to the slicer, you can do the guard. Usually there's a guard that comes with it, and then we can just go like this. And so our fingers are protected. Nice thin sweet potato slices. We are going to soak them in the water for probably 20 to 30 minutes. And this is going to help leach out some of that extra starch. And you can already see that the water is getting super cloudy. Once the slices of sweet potato have done soaking in the cold, ice cold water, I'm going to just drain this. Just hold my hand right next to those and drain it. And you could also just use a colander if you want. Here I am over at the stovetop, and I have a pot with water, and I have about an inch and a half of water in there, and I have the heat set to high. I want to bring that to a boil. And once the water starts to boil, I'm going to take several of these sweet potato slices and just put them in here. You don't want to crowd it too much, but we could do probably about a third of them at a time. It just depends on how big of a bowl or pot that you're using. If you use a larger pot, you can do more at a time. And then you let the water come back to a boil, and then we'll boil it for 3 to 4 minutes. And then we can come in here with a wooden spoon or like this spider strainer and just move them around a little bit. And after they have boiled for 3 to 4 minutes, I'm going to just take them out of this hot water and then place them on a plate lined with paper towel, just so they can dry a little bit before we fry them. And then once the oil gets to temp, we can take these and drop them in. Just be careful, the oil is really hot. We can take a spider ladle and we'll just kind of move them around a little bit. And then the way that you tell that they are done is they're going to feel very crispy. And there's not going to be a ton of bubbles anymore around the potato slices. All right, so these are done. Look, there's hardly any bubbles now around them. And if you take your ladle, and you'll be able to feel how crisp they are. And when you're done, you'll just move them over to another plate that has paper towel so they can dry. And also, before they dry, you'll come in here and you can hit it with a little bit of salt. The sweet potato chips are done and turned out fantastic. And now I'm just going to dive into one and show you what it looks like. Hear that crunch? Amazing. Now if you look at this plate right here, I have some of the unboiled ones on the left, and you can see that they're much more dark than the ones on the right, which are done with the boiling first before frying. Take care. Time for me to dive into one of these. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.